My new Toyota Tacoma had a potentially catastrophic problem, but I fixed it. Have a look at yours. You might have the same problem. Well, good morning everybody, and welcome back to Robmotive. And that's right, today I am attempting to fix a problem I seem to be having with my brand new Toyota Tacoma. Now, I'm gonna insert a little clip here in just a second, but basically what it is, I noticed in driving around, going over a series of small bumps, like say several rumble strips, you know, those little things in the road, that I had some kind of a bouncing around kind of feeling in the front. Not from the suspension or anything, but like something under the truck was bouncing around. I could hear it and I could just vaguely feel it, the sensation in the seat. So I got to thinking, you know, I had new shocks put on. You can see them right up here, of course. They're Bilstein adjustable shocks. I had these put on. That's the only thing that I've done to the truck, except new wheels and tires, right? So actually this morning I went back to the shop to have them check it out. They looked at everything. They didn't see anything wrong, and frankly, for my untrained eye, I don't really see anything wrong either. I tested a couple of bolts, whatever, and everything seemed to be pretty darn tight to me. So I don't think it's any problem with that, at least not the shocks or that part of the installation itself. Now, here's where I'm going to insert the clip. You guys can hear what it sounded like when I was going down the road. So you could hear it kind of sounded like something bouncing around under here. Kind of strange, I don't know. So anyway, back to my inspection. I looked under here this morning and I noticed on the brakes that right here, this bolt and this bolt right up here were sticking out a little bit. They weren't all the way in. This one down here was out probably a 1/4 inch away. Now, that to me means that would let the caliper play around a little bit potentially, right? Maybe, I don't know. And how I determined that, I checked the other side right over here and compared the bolts, because I am no brake expert. And those bolts are snug, tight, right up against the caliper itself. So I grabbed a wrench and I actually tightened these down. This one here, this one up there, and then I checked the back two and they were tight, no issues. So I am hoping that that is my problem, that that's what was causing the issue. So now we're gonna jump back in the truck and we're gonna go for a ride and see if indeed the problem is solved, or if it really wasn't that. I'm not sure. So let's hop in, we'll go for a ride. I'll let you guys listen to it along with me. It'll be the first ride, and we'll see if indeed I solved the problem. Okay, real quick, before we head off to see if my little brake caliper tightening took care of the noise I was hearing, and the slight little, felt like something was bouncing around. Anyway, we're gonna test that in a minute, but before we do that, I kind of scratched the door a little bit. Well, kind of on the edge. What I did, and I don't know if the camera's gonna pick this up, the naked eye does, but right there, maybe you can see that teeny tiny scrape, and it's like nothing, it's right there. For some reason, I nicked that with something I was doing in the bed. I think it might have been maybe a tool even, I don't know. But I got myself some paint. This is just a paint marker, because all I really need to do is just go right over that edge. That's it, right there. So this is magnetic gray metallic. You can see right there maybe is the part number in case you're looking for the match. But you're supposed to shake it up, so I did that, and then take the tip off, or the top. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, it unscrews actually. Oh wow, it's a brush. I thought it was like a marker. Wow. Okay, so it's a brush. Okay. It is supposed to be a marker. It says gently depress tip to begin fluid flow, but there is no tip. It is a brush. Okay, well, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. Okay, I did it. It's right here, and it's wet, so you might be able to see it a little better now. I don't even know. But right there, again, it was just the tiniest of little nicks on the door. Stupid thing to do. But it is covered now just to keep it protected. Let's jump in the truck and go for that test ride. We are out doing the little test drive here, and if you refer back to the beginning of the video when I played that clip, rather, of the sound I was hearing, I'm not hearing it anymore. So apparently it was a loose brake caliper of all things. Now, I've been thinking about this, and you know, when I had the shocks replaced, there was no reason to remove the brake caliper. I mean, it's not in the way. They wouldn't have done that. Secondly, when I had the new wheels and tires put on, there was no reason to remove the brake calipers either. So indeed, it seems to be that they either worked themselves loose and started to unscrew, or when the truck was built, they weren't tightened down at the factory. Although I will say, I didn't notice the problem until after I had the truck for about probably around 500 miles or so, something like that. So I do believe that they worked themselves loose, that they weren't that way from the factory. So it's something I'm going to have to keep an eye on. There's going over the same kind of bumps that I heard it before. You didn't hear anything. So I'm going to have to keep my eyes on it, make sure that they don't start to back out again. I didn't put any Loctite or anything on them. I didn't pull them off. So if they do start to back out again, and that's assuming that somebody didn't take them off for some reason, I'll have to do something to secure them better. But the problem is gone. And I gotta say, if you're having any kind of issues with yours, if you're getting a bouncing around kind of sound, like something under your truck is bouncing around, check those bolts on the brake calipers, because it completely solved the problem for me. Maybe yours aren't tight either. Now, the question came up, could that have caused a problem? Well, to be honest, there are 4 bolts, it looked like, I think. Maybe there are only 2, but I'm assuming there are 4 because I saw 4. So there would be 2 more to hold it on should those have come out. They were both loose. I don't know. I mean, if your brake caliper fell off, first of all, you hope it doesn't go through somebody's windshield behind you, because it's a big honking chunk of metal. But secondly, it's going to break the brake line, so the fluid's going to drain out. Now, I'm not sure if that would bleed the whole system. I'm kind of guessing it would, and then you wouldn't have any brakes. So yeah, it could be a problem, I think, if it fell off for some reason. Anyway, I am very relieved that I happened to see the problem. It really was sheer luck. I was just nosing around under there, looking at different things while I had the truck on the lift, and noticed that 2 of the bolts were kind of backed out a little bit. And comparing it to the other side, definitely were not snug like the other side was. And by the way, I did check the other side and they were fine. So have a look, make sure that your brake caliper bolts are tight, particularly if you're having any kind of issue under there. Let me know, leave a comment. You getting any noises from under your truck? You just can't figure out what it is? You know, my first thought was maybe it's the exhaust bouncing around under there. Maybe when they lifted the truck to do the wheels and tires, they somehow screwed up the exhaust. That's what it sounded and felt like to me. Anyway, let me know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Robmotive FST, all about my 2021 Toyota Tundra. And Robmotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.